welcome back to Sextras,
where we talk about sex and all the extras.
I'm Honey.
And I'm Maria.
And today we're gonna do a friendship episode, finally, all about how friendships change over time.
That was a really weird woohoo, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But yes, we are going to be talking about how friendships change and yeah, I guess a little bit about our experience and stuff, but hopefully you guys will relate in some kind of way.
Yeah, it seems like it from the segment that we did. But should we start with what zones we're in?
Yeah.
This week? Tell us.
Wow, this week.
Maria turned 22.
Sorry. I did turn 22 this week. Yeah, I mean, last week's episode, if you were listening to that, came out on my birthday. So, you know, if you listen on the Tuesdays, you were in for a cheeky little treat. We're celebrating with me, basically. But yeah, it was my birthday a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And it was lit. I actually had a really nice birthday. I mean, like, it was really chill. I went to work, then just had, like, my boyfriend came to see me and spend like a couple days here for for my birthday. And yeah, just Honey came over, one of my other friends came over, and it was just like my siblings, and it was just a really lovely sunny day. So it was quite nice, and we just had dinner, like my favorite food.
It was so good.
Yeah, just chilled. Like it was really nice. Wouldn't change it for anything, you know? So yeah, I mean that was like pretty exciting. And so I was very yellow on my birthday, but realistically the wrap up for the rest of the week is I'm just tired. Like I'm so tired. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. Like genuinely I'm just tired. And I guess in terms of my relationship or whatever, since it is meant to be like the zones aren't meant to be in a relationship theme.
Yeah.
Just also tired.
Tired of your relationship?
No, like tired of this long distance thing. It's annoying. Like literally every time we say goodbye, even though obviously it is easier, like it's like I'm getting annoyed. It's honestly pissing me off. Even though I'm like, it's his birthday 10 days after mine, so like I'm seeing him for his birthday too. So like this time it was fine because it's like I know I'm seeing you in 10 days. Like this isn't deep, but it's like I just don't want to do that no more. Like I want to see him every day when I get home from work. Like that would be really the ideal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. Where are you at? I guess my zone is I'm gonna go for grey. My color.
Okay.
Sorry, where are you at?
Well, actually, I was gonna say I feel like we haven't said in a while, but in case you guys are wondering what the fuck the zones are, it's on our Instagram. What all the colors mean? Because I mean, we do explain it, but in case you're just like, what are they talking about? You can go check on our Instagram at Sextras Podcast. But my zone is maybe grey too. I'm very like up and down. I was feeling just like a bit of shit this morning in terms of like I felt like so dizzy and tired. But then I had lunch and I felt better. So I think it's my hormones are like all weird after my implant being taken out. So it's all like just balancing out kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I also forgot what it feels like to like have a hormone cycle. Like some days you just feel shit. Like I forgot about that. And like I've been really bloated after I eat, which is like, why is this just happening like a random week in the month? It's so weird. But yeah, so maybe grey as well, honestly. But I am excited because my friend's coming tomorrow and I haven't seen her in 3 months.
Oh yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Amelia, we've done an episode with her. Yeah. Go check it out, guys.
Go check it out. So yeah, that will be fun and very on theme for this week's episode.
Indeed.
we are worried about our friendships.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
that's
it's,
good.
it's not gonna be like I wouldn't say it's like a positive friendship episode.
Yeah,
We will do one at
we
some
will.
point, like we
Yeah.
will, of
We
course.
we do want to do one about like how to make friends as an
Yeah.
adult, and we can give some. I mean, you guys have given some tips or stories, but I mean, we do want to have like more of an expert on. So if you guys know anyone who would be a good guest for us to have that we could reach out to, or we'll find someone for next season, because we definitely want to do that and we need advice ourselves.
Yeah,
Clearly, as you will gather from this episode. So yeah, that will be our positive friendship episode. And this one's just going to be about like friendships changing, and like I'm sure a lot of people can relate, in terms of you just kind of like grow and other people grow, and sometimes you grow together, sometimes you grow apart. Anyway, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So we started with a segment. We actually did a few. The first one is, do you feel like your friendships have grown as you've grown up? And 80% of people said yes, they do feel that way.
Yeah, and then 9% said no, and 11% said some of them.
Yeah. So fair, as
yeah,
expected.
I mean, yeah. I feel like, of course, like everyone changes, people change,
Yeah.
so naturally your relationships will change over time. Like I feel like that makes a lot of sense, and it's quite positive to see that people have friendships that have survived
True.
the growth and whatever. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Then we also asked, how have they changed?
And the first one was, what you learn when you learn to have boundaries. I definitely lost some friends. Deep.
Yeah, I feel like I have heard that a lot, like when you sort of like learn to draw boundaries or like have difficult kind of conversations, like people will fall away naturally.
I feel like I'm not very good at setting boundaries.
So haven't experienced that one yet.
Can't relate. Maybe one day.
Someone else said growing in different directions, and with different values and priorities.
Yeah, so kind of what we were saying, but I definitely do feel like this is quite a common one,
Yeah, I mean, you like realize what your values and priorities are more.
Yeah, exactly.
And exactly. Like, so, and you get to know yourself better and the sort of people that you want to be around.
Yeah.
So I feel like that does make sense. And when everyone's sort of growing up and starting to do their own thing, I feel like it's also easy for people to grow in different directions.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the classic,
Classic. And then someone said, we have all grown so much as individuals, and my friendships are now so much more multifaceted as we are no longer friends because of one thing. Our values, experiences, and just in general vibes are all that makes us closer. That's nice. Yeah, I think especially after the pandemic, and we'll get into this, I guess, but like you just grow less tolerant, and I guess it's a growing up thing as well, but you just become less tolerant of like people that don't bring good vibes into your life, I'm just not bothered to chase people who aren't adding anything, or like I just want to have a good time. When I see people, I don't want to be worrying, even though this episode will show you that I am worrying, but you are less tolerant of those things, I think. And yeah, as like going back to like the values and experiences things, it's good to like have shared experiences with people, because that draws you together.
Yeah, for sure. And I really like this idea of sort of like a multifaceted, like rounded relationship, rather than like, you're just friends because of one thing. It's more like, well, no, like I feel like there's a lot of like other things that we can bring into each other's lives, and sort of like, as I said, rounding off that relationship kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like you're not just friends because like you all went to the same school, or like you have, or
like you work together,
and
like you hang out at work or something. It's like
exactly
more than that.
Yeah, it's like affirmed by your like who you are as people as well, which is always a good thing.
Yeah. And then we asked, taking a cheeky little turn, what's worse, a friend breakup or just drifting apart?
Yes, and 54% of people said drifting apart, and 46% of people said a friend breakup. So pretty even. But I do feel like more people have experienced drifting apart than like a dramatic breakup kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like I mean, I have, but like when I was younger, like I haven't really, like I've never really experienced a friend break. Now, I'm not saying it's not real at all. Like I know it's like a very real thing. I've just never had that experience, like in a real way when I wasn't like 12.
Yeah, no, neither. I mean, yeah.
No, that is not real, but like, as in, I barely even remember it, like the drama of it, like I know at the time it was quite dramatic, I feel, but it also wasn't like strictly a breakup. I do feel like friendships, it is a little bit more complicated, that even if like you do have like a friendship breakup, there is more of like, this like separation and drifting apart element as well.
I do think friend breakups are really sad because like obviously it's kind of a thing that you will date people in and out and you kind of like take it for granted that your friends will always be there, and like they are kind of the people that will accept you no matter what happens. And so for that to happen, it's like saying something really about your personality or their personality, or like there's just some like it has to be quite a big thing, which is why I think it hurts so much. But I mean, I can't speak from experience necessarily, so. But yeah, and then we have more, guys. It's still coming at you. We asked, when was the last time you made a new friend? And 56% said really recently, 38% said in the last year, 3% said 1 to 3 years ago.
And then 3% said more than 3 years ago, or so long ago that I can't remember.
Okay. Got it. I was so confused. Okay. So people really showing us up that they have made friends really recently.
When we were making this like little scale of like the options that we were gonna put, I was like, how often are people making friends? Because like I haven't made a friend in like since the first year of uni, and that's like nearly 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So like, are people really making friends like all the time? And apparently fucking they are. Like they are. That's such bullshit.
I mean, maybe our audience are like at uni, to be fair, so maybe they are making friends at uni, but I don't know, that's like where the fuck where are you meeting them? I want to know. I mean, well, we can know because we did ask. So then we said, tell us about it and how it happened.
And someone said, from a job, we just went for drinks after a shift.
Nice. That's a good, easy way to make
easy access, easy way in.
Exactly. Someone said, we worked together over the past few months. We've become good friends outside of work. Again, so happy for you that you have a job and friends. Not everyone does, okay?
Someone else said, on Tinder whilst traveling, since everyone is on the same boat and making pals is easier than home, we met for food and then we decided to book a tour together the next day.
That's cute.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
I feel like you wouldn't expect people to like make friends while traveling. I mean, like you do, but I wonder if they translate to like when you go home, like are they from the same place kind of thing, because I so know for myself, I'd be like, oh, what's the point if they don't live like in the same city, even though I have friends that live in other places, so that's stupid logic on my part, but yeah.
Okay, and then we asked any other friendship thoughts, and someone said, I think as you get older, you slowly begin to trust less people. It's about who you can let your guard down with too, and who you can put your wholehearted trust into.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think that's accurate?
I mean, maybe. I don't know if like I would say trust
Yeah.
to, but I get kind of what they're saying a little bit. I do feel like kind of to the point that like we were getting at also before, in that when you get older you sort of start to know yourself better and like what you want.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also more like, yeah, you're a bit more like picky with who you're gonna open up to and like actually let into your life. So I
Yeah.
mean, I do get that.
Yeah, no, I get the like the essence, but I don't think that I trust people less. I actually think I trust people more in a way, because like the people that I do let into my life, or the people that I do make that effort with, or like, you know what I'm saying, like try
Yeah.
to be friends with, I already know that I trust them
Yeah.
because I know what my values are, like what you're saying. But yeah, I guess that's kind of what they're saying with like letting your guard down, like who you let your guard down with and who you put your whole self into, because I think it is just like a natural part of growing up that you just like you give more of yourself in a way. But that is also a factor of like childhood friends as well, because it's just like the situation allows for that more. So yeah, I don't know, it's a complicated one. And then someone said, if you spend less time together, does that mean your friendship is worse? Oh, we're
Right
gonna,
on the nose on that one.
we're gonna get into that in the episode, so stay tuned for that.
Okay, and then someone else said, last submission, I think the saddest part is when you have to make an effort to distance yourself from them because they're just not good for you anymore. And it's not like you've just had a falling out. You can't exactly tell them this part of your personality isn't good for me, so you just have to slowly drift.
Yeah, that's sad.
Mm.
It's so sad to like be on the receiving end of that, but also to like have to come to that realization of like, oh, I can't be friends with this person anymore. Yeah, I don't know, it is just like a sad fact of life though, that you will like grow out of people, you will reach realizations with people of like, oh fuck, maybe this isn't sustainable. And yeah, I don't think everyone's like necessarily ready to like put that in action, that realization, but it's something that you just have to like, you either like without realizing slowly distance yourself from them, or it has to be like a more serious kind of conversation.
Yeah. Have you ever had to distance yourself from someone?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Have you?
I don't think so either.
Okay.
Other than like people I've dated.
Yeah, I know, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like the only person I can think of is like someone that I actually dated.
That too. I mean, I do have a problematic friend, but like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna do anything about it.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, should we get into the episode?
Let's get into it. Okay, so I kind of wanted to do this episode because I feel like I really deep how much like friendships in my life have changed. I think friendship is like such a difficult one because yeah, a lot of the time it's not really something that anyone's doing. It just feels like something feels off, or like something feels different, or not like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard when sort of like you've drifted from your friends, but you're still friends. Like, you're still very much friends. Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
But it's like something's different, you know,
Yeah.
something's changed. Like, things have changed. It's just not the same dynamic anymore.
Yeah.
But it's not for any reason, as in like nothing happened between the two of you. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are obviously reasons, but the reason isn't like
Drama.
a problem, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not really anything tangible, and then it's hard to like bring it up or do anything about it really, because then it's also like, can you ask certain things of your friends? Like,
Yeah. And then I also think like bringing it up is like,
creating
at least
an
in like,
issue.
at least in, I'm not saying in every situation. I don't know. I do feel like there it is like friendship, as you were saying, like it's so tricky that it is that kind of thing that is like you don't want to say certain things out loud because then it makes it true, kind
Yeah.
of thing. You know, you can all just sort of pretend like, no, like, what do you mean? Like, we're all as close as we used to be, but like,
Yeah.
that's not the case.
Yeah, well, maybe we should kind of like give some kind of background. Also, this isn't like deep. We just want to say like this isn't deep to any of our friends listening, but it is just like something that like we've observed. And also, I think it's very much a phase of life thing. Like, we don't want to go on about it too much, but we have been graduated from uni for a year. We both live at home. Our friends are still at uni or they live in other places, or basically life gets in the way. Everyone has their own thing going on. You guys, some of you have boyfriends, some of us don't, you know. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the whole episode is about. It's more about like things change.
Yeah.
And so like how has that affected like your friendship and what does
Yeah.
that look like now? It's not like oh, like it's not hating
Yeah,
on anyone
exactly.
or
It's
like
not
blaming
hating on
anyone at
anyone.
all. It's just like
Yeah.
there's like it's changed. Things have changed.
Yeah, exactly. And so the thing is that like because everyone's at different phases in their lives, and not that it's going to be like this forever, it could be whatever. We don't spend as much time together, like all of us anymore, which is, as we said, no one's fault, no one's to blame, but it is a little bit sad to us.
Yeah,
Or
well,
like, I mean, I don't want to speak for
yeah,
you
well,
because
do you
I
want to
do
talk
feel
about
like we have different opinions.
do you want to talk about sort of like what your experience of like your friendships changing has been? Like
Yeah.
maybe that will be easier if sort
Okay,
of like you kind of talk us through it.
Yeah. I do feel very lucky in a lot of aspects, and like when I'm talking to certain friends of mine, like outside the friendship group or whatever, or like just random people, it doesn't really matter who it is, um about my friendships, I feel like it seems like we are very lucky in the fact that we had a close group of friends at school and we're still good friends like 4 years later or whatever. And I do think that is something that is kind of unique to our school. Like that seems to be quite consistent across like everyone. But yeah, I do feel grateful that we have friends that I know we have the same values in most aspects, and I'm grateful that like we could not talk for months and months, and then like whenever we're in London we will probably see each other and it won't be weird. There'll be no like grudges or whatever, you know, like we're not a dramatic friendship group by any means. But because of the fact that like I'm single, and I think I touched on this like in a couple of other episodes, but like because of the fact that I'm single and because everyone else has their own things, like whether that's jobs or boyfriends or like other friends or whatever, I have felt in the past like I've kind of like been left behind in a way. Especially like first year of uni, I really didn't want to go to uni, and I was like a bit like bitter about the fact that everyone else had made new friends because I was still like clinging on to this like idea that we were all still going to be best friends, and we still are is the thing, but it was all in my head basically of like oh, I'm just worried that like people are going to make friends that they like more than me, which is obviously like just a stupid thing to think because like it's not a competition. That's just like what was going on in my head,
like,
you know.
Yeah, that's so understandable. I feel like even like no one, you know, even if like you would never be the kind of person to say it out loud or anything, like everyone has like a secret little thought in the back of their head, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
and I did feel at that point, and I do still feel at this point, like 4 years later, that, or 3 years later or whatever, that like these, like the people that I'm friends with now are people that I want to be friends with for like the rest of my life. Like I genuinely love everyone so much. I have such a good time with them, and like I just think they're amazing people all around. However, after, I mean, I did make like two or three really good friends at uni, so I can't discredit those people, because like massive creds to you guys, because honestly, like, I am so happy that I met you and I have you in my life, obviously. But I'll kind of get into that after. This is just kind of focusing on like our school group of friends, basically. And then I was like, okay, I do want to make effort to make new friends. I did my little study abroad and I did make new friends. And that was the last time I made new friends. Genius. Now I know. I couldn't remember who it was. So that was in second year of uni, and that was like a really affirming experience, because it was like, okay, I did make like all of these new friends and I went to a new place or whatever. But again, I feel like I just never really push myself outside of my comfort zone. Like, I'm always like, the friends that I made, they were like the people that I lived with, you know, and the same with my uni friends from home, like my home university friends. So, and then I was like, okay, I do want to keep on with this train, whatever, like, and that is a good way to meet people. Like, I'm not trying to say that it's not. Anyway, then I came home, then the pandemic happened, and I do think this is like quite a big thing in like both of our stories, so I'm just gonna touch on it as like, the pandemic has ruined not ruined, that might be a bit dramatic, but like really impacted socializing for a lot of people in our generation. And we were going to do a whole separate episode about socializing after the pandemic, but we were like, let's just put it all in one, because it kind of all goes together. Of like, I was so like scared to see even like our closest friends during the pandemic for ages. Like, I'm still like, only recently have I kind of like gotten over that whole like, can you please do a test before I see you kind of thing, you know. And then to like, I'm just in the real world, and I'm like, how the fuck do you make friends in the real world? Like, I genuinely have no idea. So I'm kind of just trying to balance this, like, everyone's still got their own lives going on, like our friends from school. I don't know how that's gonna like play out in the future. Obviously, fingers crossed we all stay friends. And also like, okay, but I feel like I should be making new friends, because I want to have like, I want to have like lots of friends from like different experiences and different backgrounds. And like, even though I love our friends so much, I don't think there's like necessarily any benefit in just having friends from like one experience, one background, you know. Like, I feel like we know the things we bring to each other's lives at this point. We've been friends for so long that like, it's not really adding like anything to my life. Not that my friends are, but just like, you know, the background.
Like
you get what I'm saying?
I mean, like, basically everyone in our friend group is like, we all went to the same school, the same private school. So like, that breeds a certain kind of person. Not that it breeds, it's just certain kind of people go to private schools.
Exactly.
And that is like everyone. And so we've had like a similar, and also when you go to the same school, like, you're experiencing the same stuff. So we've had like a very similar sort of like experience. Even within like, obviously very different experiences also within, you know, like, I know I'm saying two different things, but like, obviously there is like some diversity and experience within us. Exactly. But at the same time, like, it's all very much from like one kind of walk of life.
And like, say. I know it by now is like my main point, you know, like, I do know it like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later, you know. So it's like, I do like, this is the point of my life where I need to be meeting new people and like going out and like making new friends or whatever. But I have literally zero. I feel like I'm so unprepared for that, because we lost however long to the pandemic at uni, which was like, you know, obviously crucial time to meet people our age and make friends, and like puts you in that environment. Like, you're literally, you don't have to do that much work except like talk to people. Whereas now it's like, where the fuck do I go? So yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. And then I just have concerns going forward, basically, of like, yeah, I don't know. I get sad that like we don't hang out as much, and like it's a lot more effort now, obviously, because of the fact that we're not in the same place every day, like at school. I still
Yeah.
haven't gotten over that, or like at university, that like it's not just like handed to you, this like shared experience. It's a lot harder to be like, okay, we're going to go here at this time, and everyone's going to be free at this time, and everyone's going to have money to go somewhere at this
Yeah.
time, and we're all going to agree on a plan. um because I do feel like, again, with the pandemic, like everyone's kind of priorities have changed, of like, okay, but I don't want to go clubbing anymore, or I don't want to drink anymore, or I don't want to go to a restaurant anymore, that's too expensive, I don't have a job, or like I don't have, there's
Yeah.
an endless list of variables that it's like it's just a lot harder to be like, okay, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's not a huge amount of incentive to do it, which again makes me sad.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. And I do think that like a lot of it is circumstantial because like yeah, as you were saying, like everyone's busy and everyone's got their own lives and like stuff comes up, and if you are like yeah, like we're not seeing each other every day, so it's not like we are like our day-to-day, like we are each other's day-to-day lives now, so it is a little bit more like your day-to-day life will just get in the way sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's hard to like pin down a time where everyone's free and
Yeah.
all of this stuff. And I also feel like since, because it's been like what 4 years now nearly of us like living in different places and stuff, and sort of like even though like me, you, like another one of our friends went to the same uni, it was kind of like even from that point we were like kind of doing our thing.
Yeah.
So I do feel like it's been so long now that it hasn't been just like a normal thing of us hanging out all the time, that now every time that we do want to hang out is like a big thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like this is so not relatable and this is like honestly just an us problem. Like I genuinely wonder that because like this is not the case for my boyfriend and his friends at all.
Yeah.
So I do like wonder that sometimes. But I do feel like like everyone, it's not like part of the routine now, so it's kind of like a big event, and then I do feel like more pressure is put on that big event, and like then it's just kind of weird, like it just creates this kind of like weird vibe of like we see each other once every like blue moon, and then like I don't know.
And then there's like too much to catch up on, that like
no one really knows what to say.
Yeah, you don't know where to start. And like, yeah, I don't know. It is definitely a weird thing. It's kind of like, when I was thinking about this, like when I was younger, and I would always think it was so weird that like my mom only saw her friends like once a month or something.
Yeah, true.
And now we're like in that phase, and I just feel like that's difference.
That had not even clicked to me at all.
Yeah. And like now
that's terrifying.
That's the difference between like adult friendships and like childhood friendships,
Maybe, yeah.
I just sent Maria into an existential crisis. She's finally out of the stage that I'm at now. Yes. Oh my god. I'm joking. Okay, yeah. So tell us about like your experience with friendships changing.
Just wait for me to say I don't know at least 1,000,000 times in this, because like it confuses me. Like I don't really know how I feel about it, because I do think like a lot of it stems from just like me as a person. Like I think like a lot of my friendship issues that I'm having, or what, not issues, like just the way that my friendships have changed, I feel like it has come more from me than anyone else,
Okay.
At least like that's the way I feel.
Yeah.
So like as kind of as you were saying, at school I feel like you see your friends all the time, and it's like you are each other's just like day-to-day lives, and like you're gonna hang out on Friday and like on the weekend, and like it's kind of like you're spending so much time with these people that like it's so, I don't know, you're like as close as can be, really.
Yeah.
And then once you sort of like go and start getting into like other stuff, and I don't know, you like come back together. At least this is like the way it felt for me, like when we went to uni and we would like, when we kind of started drifting, you know, like we would see each other and it's like, yeah, we'd like catch up and like I'd love to hear about what was going on, but I do feel like the conversation wasn't like as easy or like as organic, because it was kind of like, I don't know the people that you're talking about, or like that restaurant. And it's not that like you have to be able to relate and understand every single like thing that someone tells you. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just that I feel like there just wasn't this like common ground that there used to be, obviously, you know. So I think like that's kind of like where it started changing, and it wasn't that like anyone cared less. It was just, at least how it feels for me, this is how it feels like for me, okay? I just want to it's just that, yeah, I don't know, other stuff got in the way, and you sort of just get used to sort of a new life, a new set of like daily motions.
Yeah, exactly.
So to speak. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think for me, I felt like I was like quite like when I got to uni, when I was 18, when I was like 18, 19, my vision of myself was this like very loud, says like inappropriate shit like in a group kind of thing, very like drinks a lot, slutty, like this kind of like, just like, not that not that I'm like a completely different person. I just feel like I was very like loud and outgoing versus like how I see myself now, which is like not that at all. Like I see myself as very like quiet and like chill and awkward kind of vibe. Not, I don't see myself as awkward, but as you were saying, I feel like I have a fear of awkwardness that is like,
she does
really like not letting me live.
If I ever suggest anything, she's like, oh honey, but that's just so awkward, that's so awkward. I'm like, it's not gonna be awkward, it's not.
But anyway, that is to say that I feel like I didn't care about what people thought, and so I was just like a lot more like outgoing and social, and like now I don't see myself that way. And I think like that sort of started changing in like second year, when first I got into a relationship, so like obviously that's the worst thing I could do, because then I just make my whole life about that. So obviously like that went out the window. And then, you know what I was also thinking, that making new friends, right? I'm terrified of making new friends. Like I don't know how to make friends without flirting with people. Like I don't know how to like socialize without
you have to, like flirt, like friendship flirt.
But like I genuinely don't like I don't know how to like try to make friends without like I genuinely I don't know, I genuinely have like a problem. But yeah, so I like got into a relationship, and I think like that was the first step, you know, into the like the dark hole that I see myself in now. Because then I kind of just like, also I was living with him and moved like far away from everyone else. Not like that wasn't really like a choice, it kind of just happened, you know. And then that just made me really sort of like isolate myself from everyone in a way. And I was investing so much time and like energy and effort into my relationship that it's kind of like I just, you know, tunnel vision. It's just tunnel vision for me, really. So yeah, and then COVID happened. So, and then I started smoking weed. I don't really know if like I can talk about this and if I want to really publicly, but whatever. Yeah, and I started smoking. So I became like, all of that sort of just adds up to like me being less and less and less and less social. And like now I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I like find it hard to socialize, even with like the people that are like my closest friends. Like I like find myself like going to meet everyone, and I'm thinking like I'm worried about it, and I'm like, what if it's awkward? Like, what if I don't like have anything to say? Like, what if like, you know, all of these things. And I mean, I do feel like that is because like I feel a lot less close to everyone, and that is also I feel coming from like my fault as well, because like just like won't really like engage in a lot of conversations, you know. And like that sounds it's really not because I don't care. Like I don't really know exactly why it is. I think that like I also like used to be a very good, I've thought about this like quite a lot recently. Like I used to be a very good texter, and like now I'm not. Like I like really like I'm not a quick replier. Like I kind of just leave my phone and like won't look at the messages for ages, and then I'll reply like hours and hours later, and it's like I just did not used to be like that. Like I don't know when that started, and I don't know when that happened, like genuinely. And it's not because I don't care. Like that's really not the reason. So I don't like, I'm sorry that I can't really provide a reason for you guys right now. But I do just feel like there was this sort of like switch, like change. That's how it feels like to me, like switch inside of me almost, that I kind of like just became like a lot more quiet and like insecure and lonely in a weird way. I don't know. Like I really really value the friendships that I have, and like my like trifecta, you know. Like I have Honey and my boyfriend, and then like my other friend, and it's kind of like I'm happy with that in a way. And it's like the people that I constantly keep in contact with, because I even find that overwhelming. Like I find it overwhelming to have like 3 people that you're really close with. It's like too much for me. And then because I like live in a house with a lot of people, and like I'm constantly with my family and all of this stuff, I just feel like it's like a bit of an overload for me. And like I do feel like I don't want to blame COVID or anything, but I do feel like ever since COVID, like it has been ever since COVID, and I did start smoking
and
when like during COVID. Well. Yeah, and I stopped drinking, and then also like I stopped drinking. Like I used to drink a lot and like all of that shit, and then I stopped drinking and also started associating it with like not good stuff, you know. So it's like, to me drinking isn't like a fun thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that like puts even like a bigger gap, and I don't know, I feel in a little bit of a confusion, like lost space, because I don't even know what I want. Like
yeah,
I feel like we've had a lot of conversations, like me and you, about how like, oh yeah, like we need to make new friends, and like I want to like do more stuff and all of this. And I do like feel like that's true, in that like I do want to do more stuff and like get this sort of like aspect of myself back, or like that kind of like feeling, or that kind of like attitude that I used to have, because like I do find it really sad, but it's like I'm also in a space that is like I don't want to do stuff that isn't making me happy. And right now, like, it's not making me happy. And that's the thing that I want to change. It's like, how do I go back to like that being my like safe space, you know? And like,
yeah, I don't know. I think it's also because like it's hard to make positive associations with something when like it's just you doing it, you know, like you kind of need that support system. So like with drinking, for example, like I don't drink that much either. Like I don't enjoy it particularly, and like not a lot of people in our friendship group really like we're not like a drinking,
we're really not like
group.
A big drinking group,
and like we don't really go out. Like I do think if we all put in the effort we would maybe, yeah, like to build positive associations with something, you kind of need everyone to like be on the same page, or like you can make friends with people who feel the same way or whatever. But it's like, how do you find those people when often like the way you make friends is going to a bar or like a pub or like a club, even though I can say I've literally never made a friend at a club or a bar or a pub, but you know, that is like a thing that draws people together.
Yeah, but like for instance, even like a work thing, like I like the people that I know at work, and like the times we've hung out of work, we've like drank, and like those times I've just drank way too much, and you know, it's kind of like I just don't like know how to like just fucking do it, because I either just drink too much, or I feel too fucking awkward, so then I don't want to be there.
Yeah, and like at like our birthday parties and stuff, like my birthday thing, like I mean, people were drinking, but like no one got like drunk. I think I was quite drunk, but like that kind of adds to the the low energy kind of vibe, you know, like no one gets hyped up in the same way. And so that kind of like, even though it's not a bad thing to like not be on that level all the time, it definitely like changes the dynamic between everyone of like, yeah, we're hanging out and I'm having a good time, but we're not having like fun in the same way as when we were like 16 or whatever, you know?
So maybe that's like part of the problem, you know? Maybe it's more like we're also looking at it as like, oh, we need to have like the same kind of fun and like the same kind of vibe as we did when we were 16 or 18 or whatever, but like we're not. And like I feel like, yeah, as you were saying, like we need, none of like the people in our friend group really drink that much. Like no one really does.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why we're like,
yeah, but
like,
no, I'm not saying I want people to drink, but I think it's about having that like shared activity. Like we were saying, like we're gonna do a crafts day or whatever, you know, like I think that would be a good thing because we all have that one thing that we want to do. Whereas if like now if we want to make a plan, it's like, oh well, some of us want to go to like a restaurant, but like other people don't want to go to a restaurant, or like we want to go to the pub, but like some people don't want to go to like a certain pub or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and no one wants to drink that much, no one wants to get drunk, so no one wants to spend money on drinks when they're not going to get drunk, which I get. But yeah, I just think it's about having that shared thing and about like keeping the like, I don't know, the energy going. I don't know if this is a weird comparison, but like I think I said this before of like how I lose my horniness when I'm like not having sex or like not masturbating, and how I like need to make effort to like keep the sex like energy up, you know? Like it's kind of the same thing of like, if it's not a constant thing, then it feels like so dramatic to like all be trying to reach the same conclusion kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, we both basically don't know what we want to change and we don't really know how to change it. So I mean, this episode clearly isn't really about that, but as we said, we will do another episode about it. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to like talk about those feelings a little bit and like draw on that kind of like shift from childhood friendships to like adult friendships or whatever, because I do think it's something that everyone goes through, and I think everyone is kind of like always chasing like youth in a way. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of like, oh, we have to do this, or you feel like you should be doing something, but as you said, like you don't want to do things at this point in your life that aren't making you happy. And then it's like, okay, but then you're not going to stop being friends with everyone, but like it is going to be different. So it's like that compromise and like trying to find out what you really want in a way, which is a hard thing to do.
I mean, I think for me it is like definitely gonna like the solution or whatever like surely does have to do something with like like making it a constant kind of thing, you know, like because I feel like I need that to also just like feel like a level of closeness to my friends again, that I like don't have that. I need to break that sort of like social anxiety barrier of like, okay, we're close enough that I don't feel that anymore, you know?
I think it's like keeping up with like what's happening in people's lives as well, which is like not sponsored, but this app called Cappuccino, I found out about it, and like you can send voice notes, and we haven't done it every day, but like I do think it's quite a good like facilitator of you kind of update people about your day, and then it makes a little podcast of like everyone's day in one, so you can listen to what everyone's been up to, and it's cute when like everyone does it, or like even when a couple of people do it, to be fair. So I feel like that's a good way, and that was like me sneakily trying to like get everyone to like say what's been going on, because I really like to know what's happening in people's lives, and that is like what makes me feel close to people. So I find it weird when people don't want to know like every detail of everything that's been going on, because I will just tell you anyway if you don't ask, but like I want you to ask, basically.
Yeah, and like my problem is literally the opposite thing, that I just like I don't want to share anything about what's going on because I just think it's all like really uninteresting and no one's gonna care.
No, but it is though. I care.
Yeah, but like I genuinely like I'll like type things up and I'm like, oh, who cares? Like, and I'll just delete it. Like that happens like at least once a week.
I do that too, but then I'll just send it anyway and no one responds. But I'm like, okay, glad I put that out there into the world. But I am like the kind of person that will just constantly be sending updates about my life, and I feel like no one else really is. So it's just me.
Yeah, it is mostly you.
Yeah.
But other people send updates too.
Yeah, true, they do.
Maybe I'll start sending some.
Yeah, you should.
I generally don't have anything to say though.
Yeah, but neither do I. I'm like, what do I say all the time? I don't know. You just have to keep it going.
Oh God.
But yeah, also just the last thing I wanted to say as well is like, I feel like I make a lot of effort in terms of like keeping up with people, and I get worried that it's like not reciprocated, or like I feel like I run the course of like the effort I can put into making those rounds, and then before I get like disheartened basically, and I'm like, oh, no one wants to see me.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, not like, yeah.
Yeah, no one was.
But no, I completely get that. Like, I mean, like, I feel like everyone sort of feels that in some level, or like has felt that before, in that like you feel like you're putting all this effort, or at least some effort, and
Yeah.
you're not really like getting the same energy back, and it really just feels like, oh, what's wrong with me? Like I really like this person, and like we have such a good time. Like, do they not have a good time with me? Like, what's going on?
I hate not being able to read people. It's like my biggest pet peeve, but it will also make me obsessed with you if I cannot tell what you're thinking. Like, I will be like, I need to crack the code, you know, like I'm such a like people pleaser in that way. Like, I just need to know. I need to know things.
It sucks because I so like did not used to care what people thought. Like, I didn't care if someone liked me or not. I would just be like, okay, like it's not my issue. But now it's like, if someone doesn't like me, like that would make me so uncomfortable. Like I would die.
I kind of do care about some things and other things I don't. But yeah, I think it's if I like someone, I want them to like me, you know?
Yeah,
I want to feel accepted.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what we have to say about friendships changing, and hopefully you guys related in some way. I mean, tell us more than you did, if you want to, about like your experiences. I just think friendship is like a complex thing, and we haven't really talked about it enough in the whole realm of relationships and stuff. And it's definitely it's like the number one thing in my life that I think about more than anything other than getting a job right now, like more than like dating and stuff, because that's like, those are the relationships that I value the most at this point in my life. So, and I'm sure other people can relate. And if you have any tips about how to have fun and stuff, like fun things to do with your friends, let us know.
Yeah. And I mean, they're like the longest relationships
exactly
of my life. I mean, you're the longest relationship I've ever had.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I mean, we've been friends with like the rest of the people in our group for like nearly as long.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I mean, these are people that I know we're like wrapping up, but I literally just remembered something that I was like, oh, I want to like mention this as well. That I also feel like, for instance, like our friends and like having a very close friendship group like in school. I think we went to uni, and like before we went to uni and everything, like we were like, oh no, but like we know that these are like our friends for life. Like it doesn't matter what happens. Like I know I'm gonna be with these are gonna be my friends forever. And I do think that like that also in a way was like a little catch-22 or whatever, because it's kind of like then you start to sort of take it for granted and like stop cultivating these relationships because you're so like, oh no, but like it doesn't matter, we're always gonna be friends. But it's like, I mean, like relationships do take like some sort of like investment and effort and like spending time together. It doesn't sort of just like magically like happen. Not that like there aren't friendships and like it can't be true that you don't speak to someone for like ages and then you like pick up right where you left off. Like, yeah, and like that love will still be there, but yeah, as we were saying, everyone changes as people, like as we grow up. So you need to sort of like still be like knowing that person, like those people that you love.
Exactly. So call your friends, find out what's going on.
Absolutely.
Stay updated,
and big shout out to all our friends. Love you guys.
Yeah, we love you guys. We were kind of worried about this episode because, I mean, Maria was like, oh, it's a bit deep, but it's like not deep at all, I feel. It's just like our feelings, you know, it's not a reflection of what anyone's doing.
Yeah.
So yes, hope you guys enjoyed. We have a few episodes left before the end of the season. We're nearly at 100,000 listens, like 10,000 away, but still. So if you guys want to share that podcast, that would be a massive help. Please do that, and you can follow us anywhere, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook at Sextras Podcast. Interact with us as much as you can because we just want to keep this community going. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, all of that stuff. You guys know you can send us an email at sextraspodcast@gmail.com. Visit the website, sextraspodcast.com. And yeah, it's all there for you. All the work we do just for you. So take advantage of it. And we hope you guys enjoyed. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
You've been listening to Sextras, presented by Honey Jane Wyatt and Maria Jose Hayodatiyi. Produced by Mabel Productions.